Hi, my name is David Shapiro. I'm a San Diego-based criminal defense attorney who has extensive experience defending against allegations of domestic violence. Now, domestic violence are a case that we see quite frequently in San Diego, and it doesn't necessarily need to be the domestic violence that you might think about. A lot of people wonder why they're charged with domestic violence if they don't live under the same roof as the alleged victim. Well, you don't need to. Domestic violence could be anyone, basically, whether you live together or you had lived together, an ex-husband, an ex-spouse, an ex-boyfriend, or an ex-girlfriend involved in any romantic relationship. Many times we also see it even charged with an intra-familial type dispute, could fall under the umbrella of domestic violence. What's important about domestic violence is, in many instances, what needs to be proven would be very similar to normal battery and assault charges, with that additional component of that relationship between the parties, which then makes it a domestic violence offense. But because of that relationship, domestic violence offense penalties are significantly higher in many instances than what we would see for simple battery or simple assault involving strangers. What I mean by that is this: if you're convicted of a domestic violence offense, you will have to, under law, assuming you're granted probation, complete 52 weeks of domestic violence classes. Now, many times, if you're proactive about it and get proactively enrolled in individual counseling and the like, you could remain out of custody doing the individual counseling, for those 52 weeks and don't have to do it through the court-ordered program. But you still need to do it. If you're convicted of a domestic violence offense, even if it doesn't involve actual violence, like physical contact, in all likelihood, there'll be a firearms ban for at least 10 years in the state of California, if not for life federally. Another factor that needs to be considered when litigating and when dealing with a domestic violence offense: if you're not a United States citizen, immigration consequences will be dire, or could be dire, as a result of a domestic violence offense, and more importantly, a domestic violence conviction. If you're involved in a family court battle, totally civil, but if it involves child custody, if it involves divorce, all of those types of things, being convicted of domestic violence is something that could really hurt your case in that arena as well, even though what someone's asking for in family court may be totally unrelated to what you're accused of doing in criminal court. All of that is intermingled, all of that meshes together, and all of that could affect everything else you worked hard to avoid in your life, like a criminal record, like a criminal conviction, all of those types of things. So I would encourage you, if you're charged with a domestic violence offense, to contact an experienced domestic violence attorney like myself, like my office. Give us a call. We offer free consultations for many of our potential clients, and we can be reached at 619-295-3555.